Hey, Alex.
Alex, I think you joined in 2019. Did you hear me?
I think she's muted.
Yep, she's muted.
Alex, you're
Oh.
muted.
Hi.
Hi, you joined in 2019, so you didn't get mentioned.
It was 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I have a memory of you being there in December, but it's not like we want to, ignore you.
I think when I had to go, because when I had to go for my thing at the city, not city hall,
Yeah, well, City Hall, sure. Yeah.
it was in January because it was like when the new year started.
Oh, well, there you go. So you're right. See?
But I mean, guys, if I don't matter to you guys,
No, it's sad, but true.
you can just leave me out of the 2020
Sorry, what's your name?
list.
Who are you?
Who is this?
Who?
I'm gonna go have a drink then. I can.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Oh,
I think it's 6:01. We'll give a few more minutes. I thought this was the WEC meeting, Julia. I was like, why is she not starting? So we'll give a few more minutes. I know Arlene said she cannot join. But I think we should have one or two more people joining.
okay.
Hopefully.
I'm thinking we may not need a meeting on the 16th. What do you think of that?
In January?
No, December.
Oh, that's fine by me.
Hmm.
Let me look at my calendar. Does that mean this is the last one in December?
It does. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Reggie.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Councilman. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Hey, Jess.
Hey, Jess.
Hey,
Oh,
Jack.
hi.
Jess, did you see me bicycle by your house and wave at you?
I haven't seen you wave. I've seen you bicycle by when I was inside.
Okay.
You're waving.
Now I start waving, whether you're there or not. I can't tell, but I just hope you are. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's
Mhm.
nice. I wave at houses too. And I'm always impressed by that you have such a set schedule. Like you seem to pass at like the
Same time every day, right? Yeah.
I really appreciate as someone who doesn't ever seem to have a set schedule and is always scattered all over.
So do you bicycle when it rains?
Sometimes, yeah. I have to use my snow tires one of those days.
Right, I'm gonna go ahead and start the meeting. I think maybe if we get more people, great. So basically, I just wanted to thank you everybody for coming. I just want to say thank you. I know it's going to be a long night. Hopefully we can end early so we can take a break. I just wanted to go over the open items. Well, I just want to go over the open items, the items that we might want to look at for next year for Climate Smart, and kind of where we are with everything. The open items, there's just a few items. I actually spoke to Ken before this call, and there are 3 items, I think, that are basically like items that we submitted, but we just need to tweak a little bit. So I'm not sure that I'll even go into that, but I actually would like to just mention, so one of them, the fleet inventory, I submitted it after March, hoping to get points before August, but they changed the requirements, which I've noticed they do kind of throughout the year. So just a note to anyone who's going to be looking at the site, which I know you guys all look at the site a lot, but they do kind of change them. And actually, Ingrid just sent me a list of the section 7. They added something like 19 actions. So in January, I'm going to take a real deep dive and look at everything and see if anything pertains to us. But anyway, and some of the other 2 items Ken's working on. So that's it for open items, I guess.
Well, there's something that we get towards the end of the year, we probably need to go back to the town board for.
Sorry?
You know, like the establishment of the objectives of the Climate Smart Task Force. That expires in August, but we had, the town board had approved that. It established the organization of the task force, and it essentially, objectives. 2 of them had to do with getting the bronze award, which we accomplished, and the 3rd one has to do with the resiliency questions.
Okay, so that first one you mentioned, the objectives of the task force, what was that from?
That was from the resolution, PE1, the resolution that the town board approved establishing the task force. That resolution, established the organization of the task force.
Right, I remember that. So what are you saying, that the resolution or the action expires?
Well, it expires in August, but so it needs to be renewed for all of 2021.
The action expired.
Well, the action expires.
Okay. All right, I'll look at that.
So, it probably may just be this is a chance to reorganize the task force. If you want to put on different members, this is the time to do it. And the organization meeting is the appropriate forum for the town board to do that.
Okay.
And these organization meetings, the first business day after the beginning of the year. And then the other resolution under PE1 is the task force coordinator. If you're going to be reappointed as task force coordinator, then that should be done at the organization meeting.
Okay. I didn't notice I wasn't aware of that. Thanks, Ken.
That's where you were appointed last year.
Yeah, I remember.
I have a quick question. Sorry, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Ken, so you're sure that that was a 1-year appointment?
Well, I'm sure it wasn't a 1-year appointment. It's that the Climate Smart protocol has that appointment expiring on 8/31
Of this year?
of
No,
this year,
next
of 2021.
Oh, 2021, sorry.
So,
And I thought it was 2020 also. Okay, 2021. Okay, I see what you're saying, Ken.
but the
Okay.
town board, during the organization meeting, the town board reappoints all these.
Yeah, we appoint for all the commit, yes. So you're just
there's a
saying,
lot- So having you get reappointed as task force coordinator at the organization meeting is a nothing burger, right?
Yeah, that's very easy because instead of having to do it, I mean, why wait till August to do
Right.
it? Unless there's going to be some sort of coup against her.
Well, if this is a chance to change.
I
the
mean, I
ordinance.
totally support that. Just in case anyone's interested, call me afterwards or text me.
Reggie, you're supposed to keep the coup secret.
Oh, okay.
You blew
Sorry.
it, Reggie. Oh.
And that smart task force resolution, that's where you can change the organization. You can add more people. You know, we stuck last time. If you want to go up to 10 or something like that, you know, that's the time to do it.
Okay.
I mean-
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. And Reggie, we can hear you even though we can't see you. So you just blew it with the coup.
So another question, where it says, okay, requires reappointment 10 points. So are those additional points or do the points fall away from what we had before? And it's just sort of it's
No,
net,
that's just a reestablished. Those are points we've already gotten.
Yeah.
Those are points we want to keep.
Okay, but we
So
don't
the way-
keep them unless we reappoint someone.
Yeah.
unless-
So
Yep, okay.
yeah. So the way it works, Julia, is when something expires, those points fall off.
Okay.
And then like if you were to do nothing, you probably won't get recertified because
yeah,
you would
got
be
it.
down
Thanks.
points. So,
Okay.
but then you just renew them and they just get put back. So,
Okay, very good.
and
These
that'll
are
happen throughout the
things, if you
year.
Look at them a month ahead of time, are easy to resolve, make decisions, get on the agenda for
Mhm.
the organization meeting, and then but you know, you do it in the middle of the year and you're a week away from expiration, then it becomes more of a problem.
Right.
Reggie, how often does the town board have an organization meeting?
At the beginning of the year.
That's
Once a
it.
year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Learn something new every day. All right.
This is where they also appoint all the liaisons.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Julia, did you know that Lauren asked, this is a little sidebar, sorry. Lauren wanted to be the WEC liaison. Did he
Oh.
mention that to you or did he not?
No.
He mentioned it to me that he really likes our meetings and wants to, but that's aside from that. Okay.
Okay. Right.
Okay. So moving on to long-term projects.
Wait, let's go to the next page.
Ken, you've had too much caffeine.
And
I
while Ken is going to the next page, I'll just say, Aaron, we can touch base this month about that, just talking to Bill, so we can make sure it's all set, that you all have the same, you know, if you want the same number of members or as a group, you decide you want a different, you know, number.
Perfect.
Let's go ahead
Thank
and just be clear so we can have it all set in motion. So it can happen
Okay.
at that first meeting.
Thank you. Yeah.
So maybe
thank you.
Let's confirm that in the next couple of weeks.
All right. I wrote it down on my notes.
Okay.
All right, Ken, what did you want to do now?
Well, this is now PE1, the National Regional Climate Program. This is where we had submitted drawdown and drawdown.
Yep.
All expired.
Yep.
I suggested we submit the pollinator pathway based on the work that Alex has done.
I thought you were already drafting that.
Yeah, I'm already drafting that, but
Oh.
that's something we can't submit until we actually go back to for recertification.
Okay, so to bring everybody else up to speed, sorry, Ken and I did talk about this. Ken brought this to my attention earlier. So one of the actions that we did was when we were gonna partner with, I think was that the one for drawdown or?
That was one for drawdown. We're
Drawdown.
partnering with Omega.
Yeah, and Omega, and since with COVID and all of that kind of fell to the wayside, but Ken mentioned, well, we did partner with Pollinator, so we could get points if we just kind of tweak our submission and replace drawdown with Pollinator, which I thought was a great idea. Ken is in the middle of drafting that documentation. So as you guys know, we have to, do the documentation and submit it on the website, and then that's how we get the points. So Ken is in the middle of doing that. So Ken might need to reach out to you. Can I say Alex, since you were so involved in that? And then if he has any questions on.
Yeah, well, I sent Alex a
I feel like
draft,
I've seen this already.
and I think it's pretty much, I need to add another paragraph or two on the events, but I think it's pretty much done.
And Max had some feedback and then it all got fixed.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, these climate action plans, these are things we've struggled with. both the government and the community.
Yes. Are those the big ticket items or no?
16 points each.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you did a report that was submitted for those.
Well, I submitted, I mean, the WEC and the town board established a climate smart plan back in 2007. This was the carbon neutrality plan. Where not only where it was the government going to become carbon neutral, but we're going to do that as an inspiration for the entire community. Now we've we did the government stuff, and you rejected my submission saying we don't want anything from 2018 because we're done pretty much with the government.
I rejected your submission.
Yeah.
Way to go.
That
With the whole packet, with the solar and the geothermal.
okay, I must have been having a bad day.
Yeah, you asked me, what's this? And then you put in the green document.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Okay. So,
All right, let's talk about that, you and I, afterwards, because that's getting into nitty gritty, and I know what you're saying, and I probably shouldn't have done that. So, but that's pretty.
But that's something that could be updated, and it has to be approved by the WEC.
Okay.
So as a formal governmental climate action plan, which shouldn't be any problem because we're essentially already done.
Okay.
But now the community climate action plan, we haven't done anything.
Yes, because I thought that, here's where we get into some overlap. The community climate action plan, I thought when we were talking about at the WEC meeting, talking about updating the green guide, I thought that could kind of answer that or meet that requirement. So
what you put into the green guide is an update.
but that green guide that I put in, it's really old and antiquated. They even said that. And now the WEC has been talking about updating the green guide. So if the WEC updates the green guide, then we could submit it. It was too old.
It didn't include anything having to do with climate.
Is
That's
this,
the problem.
is this not something that would be covered if we started digging more into the solar discussion that we're gonna have later tonight?
That would be, that gets tied in, certainly.
Yeah.
But you have to, updating the green guide is not a climate objective. And the comeback they came on that is that this has nothing to do with reducing your greenhouse gas.
Okay, and then I apologize because it's coming back to me. Then I said we should have submitted the comprehensive plan. Does that ring a bell?
We submitted the comprehensive.
Woo.
Ken, you're breaking up a little bit.
Cover it. You need a climate. I know.
Your computer froze a little bit. I think your computer didn't like you yelling at me. So take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a breath and repeat what you said because I didn't hear it.
You need a climate plan. The comprehensive plan and the green guide are not climate plans.
Ken, do you mean a climate plan? Sorry, I just want to clarify what we're talking about. Is this like a climate, what are we going to do when we're fucked and we need to dig out the flood? Or is it like, how do we prevent that? Are we talking about the before or the after?
No, we're talking about reducing the greenhouse gas emissions from the town.
The people who live in the town, not the town government.
The town government, we've already got covered.
Okay.
The people who live in the town. What's our strategy for doing that?
Well, it seems like that's exactly tied in with what we're discussing later tonight, right? I mean,
I think that's part of it, but probably the other part would be the green guide updated, but as the brochure that Nick keeps talking about, right? Because he doesn't want to redo the green guide as a guide. He said it's too long and it's too outdated. But,
Yep.
but if we had that brochure with all the points about how our citizens could reduce fossil fuels and waste and all that, that would
But
be
you have
good.
to, you have to define what the points are and how
Yeah.
you do it. I mean, whether it's a brochure on a website, back in the green guide or in the comprehensive plan, you know, that's just a container.
Yeah.
It's what are the action items
Mhm.
and what's our current carbon footprint for the town? And what are we gonna, how are we gonna reduce it? I mean, that's what the climate, that's what the community climate action plan is.
But now, Ken, is it, so some of the things that get the most points seem like they're the most difficult or the most expensive to do.
Mm.
Is this stuff that we can use whatever money we potentially get from the points we already have to work towards doing the next steps and getting the next set of points?
Yes. This is funding is available.
I mean, like, wouldn't it be great to have someone do like an audit of the town and tell us where everyone can improve, and then we can come up with a strategy for doing it? But that's, I mean, that costs money. So can we potentially get funds for that using the fact that now we have this bronze certification?
Yes.
Yes,
A definite
that's,
possibility and a definite approach.
yeah, so that was what I wanted to mention about long-term projects. So that is, like you were saying, Alex, more of a project where we would ask for funding, and in that funding, it would help pay for like maybe a company that would come in and work with the residents to find out. So with the community plan is going to the residents and finding out what their carbon footprint is, and then making a plan to reduce it, or, you know, offer
Yes.
things to them. So
It would be like hiring a consultant to do what Ingrid did for us on the
Right.
resource plan.
Mhm.
yes, and like the resiliency plan, which is going to start next year, it's that same kind of a long-term project.
Right.
And I
What's happening before we can address all of it, right?
so
Yeah.
the resiliency plan is there's a lot of overlap with Climate Smart. That's why I offered to take the lead on that, because it's that same concept of like, it's really kind of like the NRI, right? It's like a year-long project. We're going to be doing stuff, and at the end, we're going to have a really valuable tool, if you will, to make decisions, to make educated decisions, and to enact plans and process. So
You know where they did a really interesting job of doing this? I don't know how this would help us, but Aspen did something like this, Colorado. And they did like a climate audit of their town to figure out, you know, they ended up being like, actually, we do a good job, but then we have this little airport, and then we need to, and so like, they were really able to pinpoint pretty successfully, like the things that would make the biggest difference. And they ended up saving a ton of money as well, you know, fixing the things that they found in the town. So it might be worth looking into, but obviously if we could get money to have someone do that, that would be like.
Yeah, well, I think that's the right approach, because
I
we
like
can,
that approach.
and you know, it's a complicated thing to do. And so
Okay.
and the consultant that takes us through the process is, and the other towns have done that. I mean, they've gotten funding to do that.
So, so we
Okay.
can look at, I mean, Alex, do you want to take a look? And I'm also going to look, and I know Ken, you're going to look, and you're already familiar with the action items that are on the website. But a word of warning, they're fluid right now, and they're moving. They're adding some more in January, so that we could maybe find a project that would be worth it. Does anybody know anybody who has experience with getting grants? I know we need to rely on Heather and Ashley to apply for the grants, but do we know any town that already received one that we could maybe ask about?
Sure, if we just look at the website, I think maybe Socrates did.
Socrates.
Did you wake up this morning and say, I want to annoy Aaron?
I'm just-
that guy do it in Socrates who wrote those books about the Hudson River?
Vernon Benjamin. Yeah.
Burn. Oh
Yeah,
my.
he's pretty hot, and he probably is a good writer.
Oh my God.
He might
Yeah.
be a little hot
yeah.
box.
Oh, he's their grant guy.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Hot, and I meant hot like in his depth of knowledge.
Yeah.
There-
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I met
not what
Vern.
Jeff
I
meant.
met Vern, and I was like, "Wow, Alex, man, she's broad." Okay, got it. Okay.
Can I just say for the record, because Jess did not mean it in the same way. She totally meant the other way. That was extremely inappropriate.
But it wasn't inappropriate because she meant hot as in talented, not.
Alex did.
Like,
And Jess,
that song is so hot right now.
yes. No, I know Alex meant it. I'm talking about Jess Lunt.
Now, how do you know what I was thinking, Red?
Okay. So
I can see it in
okay.
your eyes, Jess.
Oh man.
All right, on page 3,
Oh,
When Ken is ready to plow through.
we already talked about the fleet inventory.
yes.
The other things, the street lights, the alternate fuel inventory, the farmer's market, and the social media, those are just, we have to, get documentation to,
Farmers market, we got points for.
huh?
Farmers market, we got points for.
Yeah, but we have to, we have to recertify this every year.
Right. So question for you, Ken, under the fleet inventory, David just discovered today that the town purchased a Nissan Leaf. And did you know that? Because it seems to
was
be a
months
big,
ago.
well-kept
Yeah.
secret.
That wasn't a secret. Sorry, let me.
Anyway, that could go a ways toward updating that fleet inventory statement, right? Or not?
It'll go on the inventory note. So the fleet inventory is actually an inventory of every vehicle with the town, and the
Oh.
town highway did a great job of doing that. So that car will now go on in the inventory.
Mhm.
The documentation that we're waiting for on that is actually a procedure doc that the town is going to review and update that inventory every year. I've had a few conversations with Ashley. Reggie, maybe you could help here. I'm trying to get, and this is going to come up on some other items as well with Climate Smart. I'm trying to get a hold of a employee handbook, because a lot of the items they want to see some kind of procedural document. And I don't want to have to go to the board every time and ask them to pass a resolution for Climate Smart, which a resolution is often an alternative. But she said she wasn't really aware of one. Is there some kind of employee handbook or some kind of documentation where maybe these things don't exist and that's fine, but we'll be adding to it as Climate Smart, and we'll be drafting it and saying, hey, can you add this to the employee handbook or manual?
So off the top of my head, I can't say that I've ever seen one. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Do you know of one, Ken?
Follow up.
I'm not sure you want to add.
Sorry?
What do you want to add to the employee handbook?
So for instance, the fleet inventory, it's a procedure doc. It's a document that outlines the procedure. I looked at what Rhinebeck submitted, and it's a one pager. It's like an office memo that basically says, the town highway department will review the inventory and make sure it's up to date and change it as necessary every year. That's it.
It's not the sort of thing that'll go to the employee handbook, because the employee handbook is more.
A procedures handbook you're talking about for a department, a procedures like an operations manual.
Yes.
SOP.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not the employee. Okay.
Procedures manual. Thank you.
Vacation days and sick days and
Yes.
stuff like that. So that's something to talk to Heather about.
Well,
Heather Amy.
right. She did the thing, but I went to Ashley thinking Ashley would know about it. But Reggie, is there any way you could run with maybe Jackie would know?
Really, I think it does make sense to talk to Heather, because she's the one that I would imagine for highway would organize that sort of thing anyway. She would be the point person.
Okay, fine. Take Ken's side. Okay. So I think I was answering a question Julia had, but I think we're going to get pulled back to Ken.
Okay. So the rest of the things on this page are just routine. You know, I've documentation how we're supporting the farm festival this year. When we get the street lights converted to 100%, we'll submit that. You know, the bills from the fuel and infrastructure.
Any word on the streets committee?
That's the thing we need to do. There's no problem doing them.
Okay. Any word has anyone heard anything on the smart streets? Because I know we're waiting on that committee.
Wait, that complete, that's complete streets?
Complete streets, yes.
I haven't
One
heard
thing
anything lately.
Yeah, we should invite Grace to come in again and talk to us.
Well, we just need to know if I think they were supposed to actually get like a procedure in place or a plan, and that's what we're waiting on.
I have a friend on the committee. I can find out.
Can you do that? That would be awesome.
So what do you want me to ask?
I guess kind of like where they are in the process. Last year we were waiting for them to, I'll shoot you an email. Let me just write
Okay.
this a note. I'll shoot you an email exactly what we need, like the question, but we need, I know I had it in my notes, we were waiting on either a process or a plan that they were to complete, and then we could submit it.
Okay.
All right. And actually, just, do you know of any changes with the farmer's market next year with how you're going to do things? I know that this year you guys did a great job working around COVID, because as Ken mentioned, I think we need to recertify.
Right. So next year, it's going to be similar. I mean, we're going to be moving again to the gravel lot instead of where we were this year. Other than that, I feel like things, I mean, you know, we won't know for sure until closer in how, you know, how the season will run, but it'll probably be a lot of similar things. At least the beginning of the season will probably be similar to this past season in terms of like all the COVID precautions will still be in place, I'm sure.
Yes, what do you mean by the gravel lot?
Oh,
Mountain View, right?
the other municipal lot that's close, that borders Mountain View,
Oh, got it. Yeah, okay.
the Mountain View lot, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the same deal. I mean, the town board would have to approve using
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. The town board has approved.
We're already, yeah.
Yeah, except for, I mean, Reggie was pretty hard to convince, but he finally.
You know,
But yeah, we have approval. We're moving forward with that as our location for.
Okay, so that should satisfy. All right, Ken, next.
Well, the next ones are the, you know, the climate, the greenhouse gas inventories for 2020. We need to wait till 2020 is over before we can do.
You don't have those reports done already?
I'll do those.
Oh man, slacker.
You're breaking up.
you wish.
Good one, Ken.
All right,
There's a little comedy, Ken.
we broke them down.
There it is.
All right. But as Ken, before I go on to the next thing, I do want to make sure that I do seriously want to make sure. So are you good with your list of what you wanted to mention?
With my what list?
Like you were going, yes, I know you were going through the open items and things. I want to make sure before I move on that you're good.
Yeah, the last one is the Solarize campaign, which I had put down as expired. It has expired. It will expire. Has expired, and we weren't doing anything else. But then this whole thing from Solarize came up, so that's the whole
Yeah.
again.
And that actually reminds me of another. So I was on the Climate Smart site today, and they're referring to NYSERDA as, the way I understood it, it doesn't sound like it's going to come back. They were referring to it as like they're changing some of the action items that used to meet the NYSERDA requirements or used to involve the NYSERDA. So that Solarize was something we got through NYSERDA. So just, I don't know, Julia, if you've heard anything, but so far it sounds like the NYSERDA thing is going to be replaced and it's not going to be brought
Really?
back.
Because we were told by Jane that was coming back and that she was going to fill us in on that. And then
Okay.
it seems like I heard from somebody that maybe that really is coming back so that we could get our 4th high impact action item. And I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So if I see something, I'll let you know. If you see something, if you could let me
Sounds good.
know,
Okay.
I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. And on that note,
Well, our solarized action item is expired.
yeah, and that was just a memo and a spreadsheet that we got from NYSERDA that we submitted to NYSERDA and got. Are you breaking up again, Ken?
No, I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
But I think we
So-
ought to wait till we hear something from NYSERDA. I don't think Jane really understood.
Mm,
John.
okay.
All right. So lastly, I want to talk about the resiliency project.
Hmm.
I think that's that's going to be a long project. I think that's something that I'm going to spend the majority. I put that on the 2021 agenda for spending a lot of time on that as far as climate smart initiatives. So any thoughts on that?
Do you have the sense that it's going to take a lot of the WEC's time? Or, I mean, they were telling us that it would be their doing, right?
Yeah,
they
I don't.
start off this way. Don't worry, it won't take any time. We'll do it all.
I think dedicating myself to being like a little, like errand, like I think they're just going to need help kind of, like figuring out how to go through the maze. Like they're going to need to know who the contact is at the town for this or for that. And I've already been talking with Brent. So I'm hoping to kind of shield the WEC. And I don't think I think that they've got a plan and they're pretty much just going to roll through it. I think if I just make stuff available to them, I'm hoping that's what it'll be.
Yeah, it's sort of like a scavenger hunt, looking for documents and plans.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that was kind of how I was going to approach it. Is that okay by you, Julia?
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, I mean, my terror was that it was going to become like the NRI, which frankly, wow.
Yeah,
That was a
NRI
tough
was a
one.
big-
Yeah.
All right. In January again, I'm gonna look at all the items again, and I know I've said this before, and I'm beating a dead horse, but I feel like I want to wait until January and then look at everything with the CSC and then see if anything jumps out. So, as far as anything like we've said tonight or that I've said, I think little asterisks next to it all, like depending on what changes with the program. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Now, do you have any feeling when we would resubmit for recertification?
Well, March would be a good deadline. I think isn't March one of the submission.
March
Let
or
me
April, I think, yeah.
I'm looking it up. So let's shoot for March. Let me just pull that up. Last year it was the end of February. So let me look for the March date.
What are the 3 times of year again? It's March and then June and then July.
Last year it was 2/23, 5/22, 8/21, and then 1/3. So January 3rd is actually a deadline.
Wow.
2021, but we're not pressed for that deadline. Like we're not waiting for we're just submitting. So let me look at the March date, Ken, and then I'll kind of put that out there as a goal. Does that sound like a plan?
All right.
All right. All right. Anything else? Going.
As, Aaron, do you know when our next meeting will be?
Yeah, that's an excellent question.
Okay. Because I learned about this meeting like a couple hours ago, so
Apologize, that's my
That's okay.
bad.
that's okay. It's just hard for me to, if I, I'm glad I was able to join, but.
So am I. So is everyone. I'm pulling up my calendar. So as we speak, it's definitely not going to be until January. Julia, I have the WEC meetings as the January 6th and the 20th.
Mhm.
So let's say the 6th at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Julia, you're looking at having that meeting on the 6th?
Sorry, what was that?
WEC meeting on January 6th. That's
Yeah.
still a go?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So 6 p.m. on the 6th of January. Any more sixes and it could turn sour. All right, Ken, I feel like, are you done? There you go, Ken. Take another sip. One more.
Yep, I'm all set.
All right. This is like, anything else that anybody would like to add or any other questions anyone has? Alex, I saw the link that you put in the chat. I'm going to look that up afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
It has a very comprehensive document linked in the article. If you're curious about, I just saw it when I just Googled it to send to you guys, but they were like, we made a template document that any other town or city can look at. Here it is. And it's like a 60-page PDF. Probably very similar to a lot of the stuff we already have done here, but I don't know that we have all the information to plug into it, which is what someone would be useful to just find out.
It's like on electrical usage, we can find out what the towns is pretty easily because we get all the bills,
Mhm.
the town government, but we can't find out what the town is without all the residents, without going to Central Hudson and asking for their help.
Would Central Hudson give us that information, or is
Yeah.
that, they would?
They'll do it.
They could say the number of customers, right? Or where the coverage is, right?
Well, I mean, they've done it for other towns. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They don't list it out by customers, but they can certainly. tell
Right.
those-
Give you numbers.
Yeah.
It's that. I'm writing that down in my list. I thought we'd had to knock on doors or get people to come to an event and give them free banana bread.
We can still do that.
No. All right. I'm gonna call it quits then at 6:41. Give everyone a chance to go to the bathroom, and Ken, feel free to finish that wine.
I haven't finished it. Got to refresh it.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Jess, Reggie, Julia, Alex, Ken, thank you, really. And Ashley, thank you for hosting. I don't know if you're
Thank
there.
you.
Hopefully you're
Just
eating
one
dinner.
thing before everyone leaves.
Nope,
you know,
you're done.
we talked about that class that the county is sponsoring. And, people that are involved with the Climate Smart should consider going to it. As soon as we get some more information about it, that this is something that is probably worth considering.
What class is that, Ken?
Well, in the past, they've run like an 11-month-long seminar, one day a month, to go through the whole data collection and understanding of the climate issues and carbon dioxide and
All right, who sponsors this?
stuff.
DEC,
I
I
didn't
think.
go to it because I didn't think I needed it, but some of the other towns went to it and they thought it was very, very helpful and useful. And I think, other people on the WEC and on this task force would probably find that very interesting.
It's
So
a
Ken,
data collection.
Yeah, they have homework assignments to collect data.
okay, before you turn everyone off, Ken. So Ken, let me make sure that I can read.
I'm out.
I'm gonna
Yeah, we're
restate it.
losing.
This is what DEC does. It's basically educational for the Climate Smart program. Is that right, Ken?
Yes.
Okay, so DEC would be sponsoring it, and it's basically them telling you this is Climate Smart, this is the website, this is how you get actions. So it's like a tutorial. It's like a, like that.
It's like how do you calculate carbon dioxide emissions from your automobiles? How do you
Okay.
calculate carbon dioxide emissions from your electrical usage?
Oh, okay. It's okay. I plan on attending because I think I could learn a lot, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that in depth. Okay. But that was, I thought you were like this mysteriously intelligent person and you knew how to do that, Ken.
Well, I do.
Is that where you learned it?
Yeah, no.
All right.
I mean, this isn't rocket science, but for, for people who aren't technically qualified, it, brings them up to speed.
All
Besides,
right.
models they use make errors.
How about I will send out that information. It's not out yet. I will send out the information when it is available for that
Yeah.
seminar.
Well, I just want to make people aware that this is available and something I should consider. Whether you go to it or not is, of course, your decision, but it's probably something worthwhile.
I think so. Actually, I do really seriously plan on attending. So, all right.
Great.
My fourth attempt at ending the meeting. 6:44.
Good to see you all.
Of course.
Happy holidays, or if they're not happy, they're going to be over soon. So,
Yeah.
all right. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Are we staying on for the,
I'm going to sign off and because I've got 20 minutes or 15 minutes and I'm going to take a bathroom break, et cetera, and sign back on. You can stay on.
I was just hanging on to see like if Kim was going to give you any more jabs.
That's what Ken and I do. We kind of go back and forth and it's the way that we show respect for each other. Right, Ken?
that's it.
They're very clean cuts. They're like just straight through, like you take the sword, just go. It's not messy.
Jugular.
It's not a lot of screaming or anything like that.
Jugular.
Ken doesn't get, his voice doesn't really raise, but he just
No.
goes.
Yes. It's good. It's good.
All right. Good night.